All right, so get ready because today we're going to dive deep into the first 100 days of Modi 3.0.
Okay.
I was looking at this document you sent me, and wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing they cover just a ton.
Yeah, that's right.
From infrastructure to women's empowerment,
Right.
science, global diplomacy. I mean, you name it.
It's in there.
It's in there. The question is, can we unpack it all effectively? I mean,
That's a challenge.
that's the challenge.
The sheer amount that they've attempted to tackle in just 100 days is really impressive.
Well, let's start with the infrastructure because,
Okay.
they're not messing around.
No.
This 3 lakh crore investment.
By a 3, followed by 12 zeros.
That is just
Massive.
massive. And it's going towards roads,
Roads.
railways, ports, airways, everything.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
They're not just fixing a pothole here or there.
No, it's a comprehensive approach.
This is a total
Overhaul.
overhaul.
It's not just about building new things either. It's about improving efficiency.
Okay.
Think about how this impacts your daily commute.
Right.
Or even international trade.
Yeah,
And then there are these huge projects like the Wat Havan megaport.
that's right.
They're aiming to make it one of the top 10 in the world.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Ambitious?
Very ambitious. And then buried in this document.
Right.
They mentioned the Shinkunla Tunnel.
Oh, yes. Connecting Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh.
Carving through mountains to create a new artery in the Himalayas.
That's a huge undertaking.
We're talking about
A nation builder.
nation building on an epic scale.
Absolutely. And it's strategic, too.
Okay.
Improving access to those regions.
Right.
Not just for tourism, but for defense
Mhm.
and economic development.
So it's really well thought out.
It seems to be.
Yeah, so we've got this massive infrastructure push, but we
Okay.
can't forget about the farmers.
The backbone of the country.
Absolutely. So they've got this two-pronged approach.
Okay.
Direct financial support through the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi.
Right. 20,000 crore rupees distributed to 9.3 crore farmers.
Yeah. And then on top of that, increased minimum support prices for their crops.
So it's about providing a safety net
Okay.
and also encouraging growth.
Yeah, because, handouts are one thing,
Right.
but if you don't give them the means to actually produce more,
Exactly.
then you're not really helping in the long run.
It's about sustainability.
Right. And then they also talk about the Plavaram irrigation project,
Providing water security.
which is huge. And then this digital agriculture mission
Using technology to empower farmers.
with data-driven insights.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then there's the National Cooperative Organics Limited, or NCO,
Right.
and they're sharing profits directly with the farmers.
So that's a more equitable system.
It is. And I like that they're promoting organic farming.
Yeah, it aligns with the growing demand for healthier and more environmentally friendly products.
Absolutely. All right. So we talked about infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the farmers now. Let's talk about something that affects everyone.
Our wallets.
Yes. And the 100-day report actually has good news.
Oh, good.
They're talking about significant tax relief.
Okay.
So no tax on income up to 7 lakh rupees.
That's a big deal for a lot of people.
That's huge. And then there's an increased standard deduction as well.
So more money back in your pocket,
Exactly.
and it's designed to stimulate the economy,
Okay.
encourage spending.
Yeah. Makes sense. And then for those in government service,
Right.
we've got the Unified Pension Scheme.
50% of your average basic salary after 25 years of service.
Yeah. And for our security forces, they've got the One Rank One Pension, or OROP.
Ensuring fairness and recognition,
Right.
it addresses those historical disparities.
Absolutely. So they've got our backs in the long run.
They seem to.
So we've got infrastructure,
Right.
agriculture, economy.
Uh-huh.
But now let's talk about the places we live
Okay.
and the future we're building.
So housing and sustainability.
Exactly. And the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has approved 3 crore houses.
3 crore. That's an incredible number.
It is.
It's not just about shelter, though. It's about creating opportunities,
Yeah.
especially for lower income families.
And it's going to stimulate the construction industry.
Absolutely a ripple effect across the economy.
But it's not just about building houses. They're
Yeah.
also thinking about sustainability.
Like with the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana.
Yeah, promoting solar energy in homes,
Less reliance on the grid,
cleaner energy. And then we also have the PME bus service
modernizing public transport.
and reducing our environmental footprint.
So it's a win-win situation,
It seems to be.
addressing environmental concerns and creating opportunities for innovation.
All right, so let's move on to something crucial for a thriving economy,
Okay.
fostering business and innovation.
So we're talking startups.
Yes, startups, listen up, because the government has abolished the 31% angel tax.
That's been a long time coming.
I know, right? It was a huge obstacle.
Definitely.
And it shows they're serious about supporting entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Sending a clear signal.
And they're not just removing roadblock.
Right. They're creating opportunities with a 1,000 crore rupee venture capital fund.
Specifically for space sector startups.
Yeah, I can already see it.
Indian astronauts on Mars.
Right. A lunar base.
The possibilities are endless.
The sky's the limit.
Exactly. And it's about positioning India as a leader in the global space economy.
And they're not just focusing on the big cities either.
Right.
They've got the Genesis program.
Supporting startups in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
Yeah, so innovation is spreading all across the country.
Tapping into a vast pool of talent.
I like it. So we've got infrastructure development, support for farmers, economic reforms,
Yeah.
and a push for sustainability and innovation.
Sounds like a well-rounded approach.
It does. But what about the workforce that drives all of this?
That's a good point.
Because that's the next thing they focus on is empowering the workforce.
Especially the youth.
Yes, and they've allocated a massive 2 lakh crore rupee package.
Aimed at benefiting 41 million youth over the next 5 years. We're talking about 1 crore youth getting internships at top companies.
20 lakh receiving skills training.
Thousands of new government appointments.
Incentives for first-time employees and employers.
This is a comprehensive approach.
It really is investing in the future.
And it's not just about addressing unemployment, it's about giving them the skills.
Equipping them to thrive.
Right, and creating a more inclusive environment for young people.
That's important.
It is. So what stands out to you so far?
Honestly, it's the interconnectedness of it all.
Okay.
You know, the investments in infrastructure are linked to economic growth.
Yeah.
The support for farmers is tied to sustainability.
It's like a domino effect.
Exactly. They're trying to create a virtuous cycle.
And it's not just about economic progress.
Right.
There's a focus on social inclusion as well.
Absolutely.
With initiatives targeting women,
tribal communities,
Dalits, minorities.
and everyone having an opportunity.
And that's actually a perfect segue into our next topic, because we can't forget about women's empowerment.
Stay tuned for that.
Because we're about to dive into that next.
Sound good.
Welcome back. So we just finished talking about all the efforts to support the workforce.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
But this report, it doesn't stop.
No, they're really covering a lot of ground.
It's like they're trying to address every single challenge facing India.
It's a comprehensive plan.
It is. And speaking of challenges, let's talk about healthcare.
Yep.
Because, access to affordable and quality healthcare, that's essential.
Absolutely.
And it seems like the government is making real progress.
It does seem that way, yeah.
So they're expanding the Ayushman Bharat scheme?
Right now, covering all senior citizens over 70.
Yeah, providing free insurance up to 5 lakh rupees.
That's a big relief for a lot of families.
It is, but it's not just about insurance. They're also adding 75,000 new medical seats.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. That's going to make a huge difference in access.
Especially in rural areas.
Exactly where doctor shortages are a problem.
It's a long-term investment.
It is,
Yeah.
and it might even help with the brain drain.
Right, because if we have a strong healthcare system here...
People won't have to go abroad for training.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're investing in infrastructure, but they're also going digital.
Correct.
They've got this UW-Win portal.
For vaccination records.
Yeah, so it's all digital, and
Yep.
it's easier to track and manage.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then there's the National Medical Register.
So a centralized database of doctors.
Right, and that can help with streamlining things.
Improve transparency.
Yeah, and these digital initiatives are crucial.
Especially in a country as vast as India.
Think about the possibilities for telemedicine.
Oh yeah, reaching remote areas.
Exactly.
That's where technology can really make a difference.
But it's not all high-tech.
Right.
They're also focusing on specific health challenges.
Like the sickle cell disease awareness campaign.
Right, and they're exempting certain cancer medications from customs duty.
So making treatment more affordable.
Exactly, and it shows they're thinking about the needs of different communities.
A more inclusive healthcare system.
It is, and then there's this little detail I loved.
Oh, what's that?
The PM E-Drive scheme
Okay.
promoting electric ambulances.
So even in emergencies, they're thinking about sustainability.
I know, right? It's like a small step, but
It's symbolic.
it is, and it's practical too.
Electric vehicles are the future.
Absolutely. Okay, get ready, because we're about to enter.
The exciting world of science and technology.
Yes. This report highlights some amazing advancements.
Let's hear it.
So we've got the first ever National Space Day.
Celebrating India's achievements in space.
They've come a long way.
They have, from launching satellites to landing on the moon.
It's inspiring.
It really is. And it's about inspiring the next generation.
Right, getting them excited about STEM.
Exactly. And they're not just celebrating.
No, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Tell me more.
1,000 crore rupee venture capital fund for space sector startups.
Wow, so they're really serious about this.
They are. I'm already picturing Indian astronauts on Mars.
A lunar base.
The possibilities are endless.
It's about pushing the boundaries.
And becoming a leader in the global space economy.
Exactly, because that's a sector with huge potential.
It is. And speaking of space,
Yes.
let's not forget about the successful launch of the EOSO-8 satellite.
On the SSLV-D3 rocket.
Right. This is their new, smaller rocket.
For launching smaller satellites.
It's like a rideshare for space.
I like that analogy, and it shows they're becoming more self-reliant.
In space technology.
Less dependence on other countries.
Okay, so it's not just space. They're investing in research and development across the board.
Okay.
We've got this massive 50,000 crore rupee National Research Fund.
Wow.
And the Vijayandara scheme.
Promoting scientific literacy.
Yeah, with 10,500 crore rupees allocated.
So they're really serious about building a knowledge-based economy.
They are fostering a culture of inquiry and innovation.
That's important for the future.
And here's something that might surprise you.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They're taking steps to build a semiconductor unit in Gujarat.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It is because semiconductors are like the brains of everything.
Our phones, computers, cars.
Exactly. And right now we rely on imports.
So this is about self-reliance.
It is, and it's a bold move.
It is, because it's a complex undertaking.
But it's a strategic one.
Absolutely essential for national security and economic competitiveness.
All right, let's shift gears now and talk about governance and law and order.
Okay.
So they're overhauling the legal system.
Replacing those colonial-era criminal laws.
It's about time, right?
It is modernizing the legal framework.
And ensuring justice is delivered fairly.
That's the goal.
And they're cracking down on organized crime and economic offenses.
Sending a clear message that they're not messing around.
Deterrence is important.
And they're promoting the use of forensics.
That's crucial for solving crimes accurately.
Right. And they're even launching the National Forensic Infrastructure Enhancement Scheme.
So investing in technology.
Yeah, it's like CSI India.
I like it. And then to tackle exam paper leaks.
Oh, yeah, that's a big problem. They've introduced the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Act.
Cheaters beware.
It's about upholding the integrity of the education system.
And they're also addressing public grievances more effectively.
With new guidelines for CP germs.
Right, making sure citizens' concerns are heard.
That's important for good governance.
And then just when you thought they couldn't cover anything else.
Right, what else could there be?
They're launching the Purviday scheme.
Okay.
For the comprehensive development of 5 states.
Bihar, Odisha, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and Andhra Pradesh.
That's a big undertaking.
It is, but it's about addressing regional disparities.
Making sure no one is left behind.
Inclusive development.
And they're not forgetting about disaster preparedness either.
Okay.
They've allocated 6,350 crore rupees for urban flood management.
And glacial lake outburst flood risk mitigation.
Those are some big words.
They are. But it's about investing in prevention.
Right, because disasters can be devastating.
Absolutely, and it's better to be prepared.
Oh, and here's a little trivia for you.
All right, I love trivia.
Ladakh now has 7 districts instead of 2.
Oh, interesting. So they've reorganized.
They have, and it shows they're paying attention to the unique needs of different regions.
Makes sense.
And for history buffs,
yeah,
June 25th is now officially Samvithan Hacha Divas.
a day of remembrance.
To reflect on the importance of democracy.
And constitutional values.
Absolutely. So we've covered a lot.
We have healthcare, science and technology, law and order.
Even a bit of history.
But there's still more to come.
There is. In the next part, we'll explore India's global role in cybersecurity.
Okay, looking forward to it.
It's going to be fascinating, so stay tuned. Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive.
The grand finale.
It is. We've talked about everything from infrastructure to healthcare.
A lot of ground covered.
We have. But now it's time to shift our focus to India's role on the world stage.
Yeah.
Because this report makes it very clear India is stepping up.
Yeah, they're not shying away from global affairs.
No, they're not. And it's not just about economic power. It's about diplomatic influence, cultural exchange.
Being a voice for the global south.
Exactly. And President Murmu, she's been busy
Yeah.
receiving prestigious awards from Fiji and Timor-Leste.
Strengthening those relationships.
Yeah, and those awards highlight India's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific.
A strategically important region.
It is, and Prime Minister Modi, he's been racking up the frequent flyer miles.
Oh, yeah, a whirlwind of diplomatic activity.
He has visits to Russia and Ukraine,
The G7 summit.
even receiving the Order of St. Andrew the Apostle in Russia.
That's a high honor.
It is, and it's not just about showing up.
Yeah.
It's about engaging with leaders from all sides.
Highlighting India's role as a mediator.
Exactly, and it's not just about the big players either.
Right.
Historic visits to Singapore, Brunei, Austria, Poland.
Building bridges across continents.
And fostering new partnerships.
It's about diversifying India's relationships.
And let's not forget, India hosted the third voice of the Global South Summit.
Bringing together over 120 countries.
That's huge.
It is.
Amplifying the voices of developing nations.
And shaping the global agenda.
Exactly, and for the first time ever,
Oh, what's that?
India hosted the UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting.
Showcasing their cultural heritage.
A big win for cultural diplomacy.
Absolutely, and it's a smart move.
Okay, so India is shining on the world stage.
It seems to be.
But back home, they're not forgetting about disaster preparedness.
Okay.
They've introduced the Disaster Management Amendment Bill.
Strengthening the legal framework.
Exactly, and they're allocating 12,554 crore rupees.
For disaster mitigation.
That's a serious investment.
It is protecting lives and property.
And they're not just preparing, they're responding.
Right.
Implementing the Emergency Response Support System.
ERSS 2.0.
Yeah, and setting up an expert team to address the floods in Andhra Pradesh.
It's about swift action.
Okay, last but not
It's
least.
a crucial topic of cybersecurity.
Yes, because protecting our digital lives is so important.
Absolutely.
So they've signed a peace agreement with the NLFT and ATTF,
Leading to the disarmament of armed cadres.
which might seem unrelated,
But it contributes to a more stable environment.
reducing potential cyber threats
Exactly. And they're tackling cybercrime head on.
with the Manus Helpline,
And the Semeneve platform.
creating a more collaborative ecosystem.
Bringing everyone together to fight cyber threats.
And they're training 5,000 cyber commandos.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It does, right? It's like something out of a movie.
Cyber warriors.
Exactly. And then there's the CyberDost mobile app for reporting cyber crimes.
And the Cyber Fraud Mitigation Center.
They're really taking a comprehensive approach
It's about investing in technology and manpower.
in fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness.
Because it's everyone's responsibility.
Wow, we've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have. It's been an incredible journey.
It has, and it's really remarkable to see all the initiatives in just the first 100 days.
The sheer breadth and depth is impressive.
It is, and it paints a picture of a government with a bold vision.
A vision for India's future.
Exactly, but this is just the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on the next 100 days and beyond?
Well, it's about implementation now.
Okay.
Turning these plans into reality.
Making a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly. And that's where we come in.
As engaged citizens,
Staying informed, participating in the process,
holding our leaders accountable.
and contributing to our communities.
Well said. This has been an insightful deep dive.
It has. Thank you for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us.
We encourage you to keep exploring these topics.
Stay curious and stay engaged.
Until next time.
Goodbye.